There we go. Why is the microphone so low? I am not speaking that low, am I? I might be. I might be. I mean, in the end, it's not like I don't struggle speaking loudly enough every single time almost. Uh, anyways, give me start the timer. Thank you very much. Internet? Okay, so far seems to be doing good. Probably, yeah. I don't think I should pin that, but it is like quite an important remark. It might die. It might absolutely die, actually. Uh, why? What a great question. I have no clue. It's what a beautiful question. If I knew why it decided to not work anymore since so long ago, we probably wouldn't be here. With me struggle to actually have any proper explanation as to why it lags. Probably. What a what a great thing, isn't that? Yeah. Anyways, also it's so cold. I'm freezing here. How temperature? Let me see. Wait. Uh, finishing what? Excuse me? Ah, they fixed they fixed the thing. Now when you press shift on the key, like shift, okay, it takes into consideration the key combinations that you make. Next question. If I press this one, if I press two different keys at the same time, it doesn't do it. But if I press the key plus any of the actual modifier ones like shift or control, I guess, it doesn't do it. Understandable. That's, I mean, unavoidably important, yeah. Um, about what? About the mute button for OBS particularly. I'm pretty sure like on Discord, no matter what you do, you will get muted. Like you'd think you don't even have to think about it intensely. You have the mere idea pass by through your mind and you instantaneously get muted on Discord. Like it's the most sensible thing I have ever known in my life. But on OBS now, it finally is more solid, more consistent, more requires more input to actually be done, not so out of nowhere. Also, we are lagging somewhat, like where are we lagging can happen. We will see. We have 8 minutes. I'm going to get incredibly angry if we cannot even stream. What a beautiful. Okay, no, wait. Let me say this, internet, before you decide to kill yourself. Let me say this. It's not like we haven't called the internet service provider company. We have gotten fucking tired of doing it. We have called them since like the middle of what, March, I think, and they haven't taken the fucking time to come and check what's up with our stuff here. And I remember, okay, we did it at like around the middle of March. Then in, what is it, the fourth month of the year? Uh, April, yeah. On April, we called again to see what the fuck happened because they said, oh, yeah, we have sent somebody to your direction. Soon enough, you will receive a technician to check on your service. Please sit tight and, I don't know, keep your guard up in case we ever rapidly appear. And while they said that, the reality was there was never a fucking technician coming. So we called on April. Like, I think we waited an entire month or so. We called on April and we asked, what the fuck happened? And they said, yeah, your house is actually flagged for a visit. But you haven't gotten one for some reason, so we are going to flag it again. Wow. Amazing. So substantial was that, I guess. Anyways, why would I ever need a working internet? I don't know. Yes, at this point I don't know. And even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. Ay, 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 ay. What a world, man. What a handful. Also, it seems to not be lagging so much. Like we lost so far 3% or so dropped frames, so there is a little bit of lag, a minimal amount, or not substantial enough to demand that we don't actually stream, I guess. I don't know. We will see. Ay, ay, ay. What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful thing. Anyways, let me set up the chat. I like when I open Discord on my phone, and for some reason it decided to save itself on me opening up one particular server like 5 months ago, and never changed on which server it opens up whenever I boot the app on my phone. And I have already restarted the phone, it's not even related to that, so literally no reason whatsoever. Phone Discord is actually so strange, it's one of the, I don't want to say worst applications, but like, it's certainly such a project, not something so serious. I mean, it's like, if you actually have to check for functions and whatnot, the Discord on PC is also quite lacking. That's why we have stuff like a better Discord and whatnot, but even so, point is, phone Discord is even worse. But who cares, I guess. We are fine, but it's operational enough, so yeah. Besides that, let me... What I want to do this while I open up the game. Good. What's up? Why am I not moving? There we go. Is it working? I guess so. Okay, I was gonna say, so, good morning. Has been a little bit since the last time. Only a handful of days, basically. I to some degree, I confirmed on stream that we weren't going to have stream itself yesterday, which we were about to change plans from stuff IRL, so I was about to have free time to actually be capable of doing it, but that's why, thank God, I didn't fully confirm anything. We ended up not being capable of streaming, so yeah, in exchange for actually being busy yesterday, now we are free, so yeah. Today we can finally present ourselves on this place. Let me meanwhile open the this thing over here, this thing over here. Gaming. It should be capturing the game, no? Like, I need, yeah. And anything else? I feel like I might be. Yeah, I have that tingling sensation. I am probably. Yeah. Let me close the GOG launcher. That's what I had open for the sake of checking it. No, for the sake of they gave away one Survivors like game, and it was interesting. I was actually testing that. Depending on how long this stream is, I guess we're going to play that probably. Or no, I don't know. I feel like actually, if we end up finishing this game, we're going to rather. Also, I never transition into this screen. Sorry. There we go. Sorry. I was saying, I don't really think we are going to play anything else. I feel like we can, depending on how long this is, we might have enough with just start. So yeah. Anyway, let me hydrate meanwhile. Okay, I was actually hydrated. Amazing. Excuse me. I am into. Also, oh my god, why is the game so loud? I was playing with the game this loud before. I think. Oh my god. Can I music a little bit lower? Just that I don't go deaf or here, somewhere around here, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that works a little bit better. Why was this game so absolutely loud, actually? Probably me enjoying the experience. I kept reflecting on what happened when I played this game, and it was amazing to actually see how much I did actually lose myself on this gameplay. I don't know, I think I ought to see something out that in terms of, probably it has a little bit to do with the fact that, yeah, this game is basically something that I ought to see and whatnot when I was just a little kid, so not exactly this game, but everything on it is capable of reminding me of that, so unavoidably, if I play this, I will have a thousand different memories, and it's difficult to actually not pay attention to those ideas that that appear in my mind, I guess, yeah. And happy that itself can happen, but at the same time conflicted in terms of, unavoidably, I got a good so cannot be done that well. No surprise why, in terms of, yeah, I remember all the mechanics. For example, something that happened inside me was the whole encounter with the mechanic of getting, what the fuck, I have to stick there. What is this? Like this? Yeah. Was saying. So, oh my god! Was saying, sorry. So, it's quite difficult to not have memories, and in that same example, something that I can very vividly remember happened when I was playing this was, for example, the backflip. That thing triggered some core memories, like, holy moly, man. I had forgotten what it felt to have to do that kind of running mechanic of, I run, and if you do it well enough, you can actually almost always backflip. So that's something. It's a reconnection. I don't exactly know how to describe it, but basically getting back to something that you knew you could do, like a fifth sense or something like that. I don't think so, but along those lines, basically getting to see, this thing still lives on me, and it's crazy sometimes, because I guess, yeah, you as anybody, we would expect that doesn't happen anymore, and reality ends up defying what our expectations are. Even if in this case it doesn't mean that, oh no, what, I still remember what this game is, what a stupid thing. No, I'm happy. I actually chose to play this because I wanted to. It's not like, wow, let's look at this ridiculous thing. I did, when I saw that it was available, I was incredibly looking forward to playing it. The only thing that did happen in that sense was the whole holy moly. I wasn't expecting this game to be so old by the time that we ought to play it. Like, it has been 9 years since this one was released, so that's crazy actually. Also, I skipped all the text. Excuse me. I'm a professional streamer. Give me a second. We can do it. We can do it. Probably. Okay, I can tell you something. Probably. Fuck. No, I cannot read the text. Can't happen. We have gotten the chance of mid-flight, catastrophic engine failure, impressively low indeed, and you will see. Okay. Ah, I had to move over here. I was trying to understand what the fuck I have to do actually. But I was in the right track. Anyways, I was trying to say that probably even one of the reasons as to why I was so focused is because of the loudness of the volume. I have to admit, I didn't realize that it was so loud. I don't think I was that tired. When was it? On Wednesday? Probably. Some day I could have been. Something out of the realization that the efforts that you put into things in general are quite extenuating, so to speak. Like, oh my god, wait, what? This. Oh my god. This platform. Also, there is one other platform over there. It seems kinda suspicious. Okay, there we go. And you have to do this platform actually, like you're forced to do it. Not entirely. Okay, like that. Ah no, I thought you actually had to. It's just to get a door and the rest though. What's... yeah. Probably, even if it's... oh my god, what the fuck? Anyways, even if I didn't realize that, yeah, being so deafened by the music itself was such an impediment, I have to admit that, yeah, sadly, it did have some effects in the overall experience. It's out the basic notion of, if you're being literally affected, like what's overpowered by what you're hearing, most certainly you're gonna be in one way or another finding yourself altered by it. Like, I guess something that I always try to say is the whole aspect of, I like to play things because I like to encounter myself in them and see how I get to actually express what I feel like instead of those things. Also, I see what I have to do, not entirely, because it's quite complicated to actually hear it, I guess. Fuck, do I have to actually do one? Anyways. Am I doing it wrong? Yes, no? Like... what a weird scenery. What's up with this? Like this? And okay. Whatever. Ah! Why did I disappear from the screen? What do you mean, brother? Bruh. Ay. What a valid room. But no. I was trying to say that in that whole theory of, and I don't know, yeah. I don't think it was exactly because I was exhausted. It simply happens that getting so distracted by the... so overpowered, rather, by the sudden noise is quite easily, like, absolutely understandably so. I think that has an effect on you. So, yes. I think I'm ready. Do I need anything else? I would be surprised if I actually did forget about something like, I don't know, some other levels before, but I didn't do them, like I couldn't care about doing them. So, what to do about that? Amazing, there was literally no explanation whatsoever, and somehow I got that I had to hit. Ah, yeah. It's Kino. Also, wait, you motherfucker. In this house, the house of the Lord, we don't allow this garbage there. I lost my hat? What? I quit my hat. I just sucked the entire pond of thing of... What is this? A map? What the? Upgrades. Huh? Huh? Ah, this is a map. I see. Sorry, I didn't mean to be this impeded to actually wait. I have a curiosity. What happens if I jump over here? Ah, and now we have okay, I see. Amazing. So like just attack while something. Okay. Like okay. Understandable. Anyways, was saying then, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like unavoidably that ended up being quite an influential factor, even if I didn't entirely get to realize how much what do I have to do? What? To ink dash shift. I had this thing the whole time. What the fuck? What are you talking about? First time ever that I see the ink dash mechanic exist. Amazing. I have a dash then. Amazing. Fantastic. What is it? Fantastic. Wow. Me when the game has shit and more mechanics to find out about. Oh my god! You see? That's why I also keep losing myself on the game, because it keeps... this is what I was trying to say when I said, ah yeah, this game is good. It's amazing! Oh my god! It's basically a much higher improvement than what the original version was and whatnot, so it has so many special features and so many added layers onto itself that I am more than happy to be playing it. And compared to the first one, this one has almost... oh my god. Almost all the things I am pretty sure that the previous games got to implement added to it, so it also is a constant reminder of everything that was, basically. And yeah, what? And from here? Ah, I have to fall over here. So it's quite difficult to also not keep being thrown back into the different available memories. Like, even if I didn't want to exactly, it happens anyways. It's amazing. At least for me, it's amazing. It has so much to it. How to not be happy? And yeah, the only thing that quote-unquote suffers because of that is that, yeah, unavoidably, I don't really get to say much. Sometimes I am bewildered by what I get to see, but what I get shown and such. But it's fine, it's a price that I am willing to pay in this case, I have to say. Also, wait, what? Man. What a... It's crazy to see that you have this available to you from the very beginning. What the fuck? Wow! I see. So sometimes, like, they are code like that. Some of them make you jump. Some of them make you... Fuck. Bounce like that. Amazing. Beautiful. Anyways, I was saying. So yeah, I don't know. Getting stunned by beauty is actually quite a... I wouldn't say... No, yeah, I mean, for the modern life, or in life in general, it's quite a useful thing to have present. It's necessary to have, to live, to get to experience, basically, the good life, so to speak. You don't really get to have a good life if you don't allow yourself to see such beauty, and even more, to be moved by such beauty in itself. Whenever it does present itself in your life, it's a requirement to have. Because otherwise, if you don't really let it be, if you don't really allow its existence in your world, and you more so say that it, for example, doesn't matter, you are unavoidably doing quite a disservice to stuff of this sort, and yeah, being happy by that. But at the same time, like, I say that on one hand, on the other one also, I think I have been quite critical of it at other times. I like that happening, but I don't know if it needs to happen here exactly. Like, I am glad that we get to see it, but I don't know. It's not like an obligation. It's just that, I guess, in that sense, I can tell you that, yeah, I am quite amazed. I wasn't expecting it to be actually this impressive. I knew it was a good game, like, I already had played it before, so unavoidably I knew how great it used to be when I was a children, but I didn't come here expecting it to be so amazing, still. What the fuck? I jumped to the very front? Oh, amazing. Was this the intended path? I am pretty sure it wasn't. Was it? Oh my god! I jumped to the very, very front. Amazing. I think I skipped like quite a substantial part of the zone. Can't happen, I guess. I cannot even go back. Like, if this divides you into layers, I literally went into the lowest layer, I think. Oh my god, what? Ah, I know what I need to do. There we go. And what is this? These are moving circles, no? Yeah. Ah! Like, gravitatory circles, actually. Understandable. Wow. What a beauty, man. What a beauty. I can't... I don't know. I am going to be incredibly sad. This is actually, yeah, something that I am going to not be so happy of seeing it end. There are unavoidably at times you encounter... Ah, wait. Games that you say, yeah, I hope it fucking ends already. But this one, I hope it keeps being longer and longer. But I don't know. Oh my! You have to done it properly, bruh. Understandable enough, but at the same time, bruh. What? What the fuck? What? Oh my god, I made it. Made it also. Amazing. Anyways, I was saying, the whole aspect of that, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you encounter games that you realize you're more than anything looking forward to them fucking finishing already, but in this case now it's beautiful. It's... I don't know. I am sad, once again, that I never got to listen to its existence from anywhere else. I know that it exists here. I didn't really listen about its, yeah, once again, about its existence from other people. Like, I didn't find out about it because somebody came and said, oh yeah, have you checked out this game? It finally released. I didn't know about it being a thing because I liked the game. Oh my god, no! I liked the game myself. I just decided to look into it after, I don't know, at that point, probably 5 years or so since the last time that I had played any of them. I think it's quite understandable. I do actually play it for the lore of the game myself, or well, in this case not so present. I used to play it when I still had my much worse computer, the older versions, the Flash versions, and when doing so, I would actually quite enjoy the whole thing. And yeah, one day it just happened that I found out about it being released, and thanks to that, it's that we're here, not because there was actually somewhere where people like, yeah, because let's say like this is one of the people that I do watch that does gameplays, for example, didn't mention it in any capacity. It was quite the contrary, entirely absent from the places which truly interested me. And it is so still also, like, not that, well, it got finally fixed. No, I don't think I have seen any of the figures that I, for example, like myself, have given it a try, so to speak, you know? I didn't mean to jump here. Yeah, okay. We get here. I know what I need to do. Can I? I don't think I can do it, like... I think I will have to reset to get back. This is the only problem that I have encountered so far, and that is that it forces you to reset so many of the areas. I don't know if I do like that in terms of, yeah, it's quite demanding, quite forceful to make the player always get to where you want them to, only by resetting, no other way. But anyways, can happen. So what the fuck? What was I meant to do? Huh? Is it out timing? Yeah. I like a lot that feature. I like also seeing where I am sitting at, you know? But yeah. At the very least, I can say that I got to play it myself, so that much I can take with myself, enjoy knowing that happened and such. I have to say, though, like, it's quite sad to realize that this game didn't really get any sort of recognition outside. I didn't play this because I was, what the fuck? Because I was expecting it to be, or because I said, yeah, you know what, we never saw it get talked about, let's bring this hidden gem. Sometimes I have done that actually, and I will keep doing that actually. Also, what the, brother, you didn't tell me what I had to do. Excuse me for being too anxious. Oh my god, it disappeared? Fuck. Here. There, no? It's still such an amazing mechanic. What the... It's perhaps one of the best things that I have seen also. I don't know. I am pretty sure I have never encountered any other game do the same thing that this one does with this weird running mechanics. What am I? Wait, can I get? No, I don't have any paint. Fuck. I think I could probably get myself to the place which I need to go towards if I actually had any paint on me, but I don't. So I cannot really do the jump that this game is expecting me to do. Can you give me some ink? What the? How do I make it? I have to jump at the very end? Yeah, okay. Sorry for not getting it. Also, there are so many goals. This... I don't actually get how the game expects me to get ink from nowhere, because I certainly can't. I am good. I'm not that great. What a... Amazing. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't know, the whole thing of at least getting to be somebody who played it makes me happy, like unavoidably glad enough that that was the case, but even so, it doesn't really make the reality that, yeah, this thing got entirely... What the... I had to go in the background. Okay. Ah, makes sense. I see what's the plan, actually. I think the only problem is this game lacks some arrows. I would like to know what is expected of me at times, actually. I wouldn't mind being told that a little bit, you know, what should be happening and what not. At times it's absolutely confusing. But player freedom is always better than no freedom at all to do things, so we shall take it, even if it isn't exactly the best thing from my point of view. We shall take it. Running area? Yes. Entirely a running area, actually. Yeah? Yeah. Wait, what? This is a boss? I like how this thing's literally, like, almost inside of me, but it doesn't really kill me for some reason, so thank God. Wait. Can I? Oh my god, it threw me off. Amazing. It's over, brother. Here and... Ah, wait! The one tells me to go here, yeah. I see what's the drill. Ah, I am there probably, actually. No? Taking into account that I cannot even guide it in any way, yeah. No, wait. This is the run. I don't think it is that intuitive, to be honest with you, but as long as it doesn't really kill me, for no reason whatsoever, I am happy, I guess. You see what I am saying? How do I know that I have to land on that coil? Let's try again, I guess. failed that jump. At least I can say that I'm happy that there seems to be no door for me to worry about hitting. Ah, I have to come over here actually. Wow. So what does it... Why does it force me to go... Ah, wait, I think I have what I need to be doing. I think I get... Yeah, I do that. And there has to be this one. Also over here. Come over here, little boss. Bossman. There we go, and that's the boss. Ah, amazing. I thought it was something else completely different actually. But that's fine, I guess. That's the boss. Wait, it died? Huh? What's a completely unnatural development? Out of, like, completely forced out of here right away. What? Can happen, I guess. Also, wait. Ah, I thought it was something. No. It was too good to be true. I like how there is no way to heal yourself, I am pretty sure. And that's... yeah, that's actually negative. But... if I do... if I move over here... no, I can't. Anyways, why will I need to heal myself? Huh? What's the point behind doing that? There's nothing over here. I am pretty sure there should be something. Why worry about that? That's all, I guess. There is really no way to get... I mean, it's pointless. Anyways, I'm trying something as if it meant anything in this case. Ah, but yeah, I was saying, and I don't know, it's just that, in the end, knowing that things ended up... oh my god, what the fuck? Things ended up being like this is shocking. The world is sometimes full of mysteries and whatnot, and sometimes you get absolutely stunned by what you get revealed, so to speak. Because those very similar revelations come from a completely hidden place, so to speak. What do I need to do? Ah, it's just a runner phrase. I see. I thought it was something else. But I don't know, I still quite absolutely love every single part of this. So, as I said, if it happens that I feel sad when this is over, it's not because it was completely unnatural, rather it is just because, shockingly enough, it ended, perhaps earlier than, oh my god, than what I would have expected I myself. So, you know now. Don't wonder. Oh my god! It needs more clear distinctions as to what is going to be like a moving platform, for example. That much I can confidently say, brother. What an annoying thing when... ah, that one was my bad actually. When I don't even know if that's going to happen or not. But who are we to complain? Oh, really? I missed that one myself. No, not really too much to complain. Like, the complaint comes from a place of anger and my own failure. Doing things well enough, not from a place of true satisfaction, but rather from a place of hatred towards the mistake, which should not have at all existed. The person is always expecting themselves to do amazingly well, so when you are confronted by this utterly shattering the reality of no. You don't really get to be all that great. It transforms your life in ways that are almost entirely unexpected. But yeah, perhaps. Also, wasn't there something on the other side? Like, am I losing it? Ah, I think I know how to get there actually. Ah! What is that bar? What the fuck? Ah! Missed. Ah, I know how to get there actually. Yeah, I made it actually. Amazing. Okay. Okay. Good. Oh yeah, what was I was saying basically? I don't know, I just find it strange in the end. The world is so full of great things being shared every single day, or almost. But sometimes it's stunning to see the opposite happen. I don't think that we have a desire for negativity. I don't think so, at least I myself, like, yeah, there are always theories reliant on the darkness of the human being, how we are so prone to this very same way of seeing the world in only the worst light possible and whatnot, and I don't think that's the case always, at least not here. It doesn't really apply, it just happens. Sometimes things go much differently than what we can anticipate ourselves, and it is in this encounter with reality that we end up being quite shaken up by it all. Because in the end, the revelation is so much more than what we could have ever expected, but it does feel strange no matter what. And shocking even? Yeah, in a way that is shocking actually. But it is still nice. At least we get to have it in our hands, know about it ourselves, see it be and whatnot, compared to its entire absence. Otherwise, the act of not letting it even be, by not letting us, obviously, experience it and depriving us ourselves of the chance of knowing what it ever was, it is that we end up doing quite a little bit of harm to our very persons, because these beautiful things get to be thanks to this beautiful act of conscious creation. So it's good to get to see them be realized and such. And when that doesn't happen, the one that suffers the most is always the person for which it was oriented. Is all of that. No, whether the game exists, but not in the void of itself. There are, as it was evidenced here, no? There are some drawbacks, for example, which are heavily reliant on you already having played the previous game, for example. So, if that is the case, then the game is waiting for you to be capable of seeing what it does and saying, I think I already know what this thing is. and being happy that you can get not just the reference but also the point that is being made, basically. And yeah, well, that doesn't really get to be, because we ended up losing out on that. We just didn't get to encounter it. We can very much confirm that sadly it's not all that great. That this something has been lost actually, and some things don't deserve to be lost at times. We live constantly with the fact that loss is present all throughout our life, no? Like unavoidably, we are going to lose something, but it doesn't mean that it is entirely justified just because of that. And in cases like this one, it's not like, yeah, this is a sim that is forced to be forgotten. It was, yeah, that much is true, but it doesn't need to remain one. Also, I forgot that I can dash, like... I kinda am screwing myself there. There we go. So easy if I just dash. Wow. What a unfair. Oh my god. What's up with this level design, brother? Oh. I'm not fast enough, actually. Amazing. Oh my god. What? What do I do? I don't dash, I am pretty sure. I hit those things. No way, right? Like, I can probably try. I shoot while I am moving. I am pretty sure that's the move. No? What do I do? Then... do I try to go through them in one way or another? No? Then how do I get through this? I can't absorb that, so if I don't need to absorb it, do I just run very fast? Ah, yeah, actually, okay. Good to know. First time I think that it uses that mechanic of... yeah, you need to boost yourself by hitting. It does, I mean, I think I got to use it like once or twice. That's how I didn't know that it existed at all, but... wow, wasn't actually expecting it to be utilized, I guess. No! Yeah. What's over here? There is... I don't have ink. I wanted to check, but I have literally no way of checking, so... Google check. When the checkers are checked out already. Yeah. Over here, nothing. Okay. Good to see that. And this entire area is literally made to regain all your ink, so good to see that also. What? What the fuck is this? What? I think I get it. Yeah. Wow. What the? No, I touched the thing like for 1 pixel. Man. Well. Yeah. Wait. And if it lets me go back? from here, like... No! No way! That was unfair. But I couldn't really make it so. No, what the... Really? Whatever. Whatever you say, my man. I got hasty. Sorry. What the... I don't get it, bro. Do you actually... Ah, I can actually make it. I thought I couldn't. Wait! I hope this was what I had to look for. What is all of these, or what the fuck? Is this literally just a runner phase? Like, I haven't really seen much going on. Anyways, no, yeah, I got one, so I'm actually absorbed entirely by the event. But I'm not going to even get angry about that. Like, it's bound to happen. It's beautiful, man. How to not be happy by something so captivatingly beautiful? Very few times in history actually does that happen. It's something reminiscent. I think, okay, I can make one point, and that is, I actually did realize that sadly I don't really think I get to, in most cases, catch what is the deeper meaning. Like, I have been playing all of this, but I don't have any clue whatsoever what is the message that is trying to be conveyed. I have the sensation, like, in my defense, I feel like most of this game does not really try to have that exist for itself in any way whatsoever, so it's quite impossible to ask that out of this one, but whatever it gets to do is great enough to actually be impressive in terms of, yeah, it's at least the experience offered, quote unquote, substantial enough, but it still carries that sense of, surprisingly enough, though, it is still pretty much an almost blank slate, so to speak, you know? What is this? The very ending? Is this literally the ending? Did we get to the ending? No way, right? There is an overworld area and all of that, so maybe, probably. Let's see what we have over here. Probably the final run challenge or something like that. Oh my god! I don't know if this was the route. I just know I made one entirely up. No! Me, when I disregard the need for any kind of clarification and I expect the player to completely intuit what needs to happen. Ain't that great, game developer? Something about... I don't understand what it is, assuming that the player will instantaneously understand what needs to happen or something like that, because otherwise I have literally no clue why they do it so often even, which is like quote unquote worse. Also wait, there is literally nothing over here? Suspectful, I guess, yeah. Strange enough, but understandable at the same time, yes. I like also how this mechanic doesn't really occupy any kind of thing, despite it obviously being based on ink, like quite a strange one, but can happen. Can pretty much be the case. This is a boss encounter or something. See how the camera zooms, see? Wait, cinematic. What the fuck? A hand pushing you over? And the stick guy falling into the pit? The screen entirely flashing? Me having a fucking seizure because of that? Okay, we wake up to reality. We literally come to reality. What the fuck? The fourth wall break? The hell is this? There was the ink guy, some sort. Oh my god, it has so much HP actually. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. Also, yeah. Wait, brother, you're quite unfair. No, I just did that instead. That's what I wanted to do, yeah. Ah! No! What do you mean you hit? Ay. I am going to die simply because I'm incredibly greedy. It's not even that complicated actually, and I am happy about that. There we go. First phase. Died. How? Why first phase? Literally expected to have only one. Don't think so. Okay, there is a base. Nor here, is there something? No. Nor here? No, there is not even a wall. To begin with, amazing. We're back on the virtual world. To be continued? What do you mean? What? What the fuck? These are the end. This is. I need an ending, man. Look outside, the terrain's finally stopped. Everything's different. This is the same game, no? That's the lava from where we fell onto. Yeah, this is the story. Like, it only resets itself. Yeah. I see. And we're here. I literally fell on the other side and there was nothing. Okay. I see, so that's the whole game. Amazing. I did. There we go. And here is the map. 5 things, 8 things, the upgrades. How is this literally still empty? Okay, beautiful. So, my assumption that this was done was proved wrong. We still have some more to go. Yet, there are still some more things to be added, I guess. Beautiful. That is therefore promising. Also, amazing that all of these mechanics are being explained to us, literally. Again, sad that the guy from the first level is still... No, the second level is still not there. But that's, I guess, encouraging in one way or another. Or something like that. Also, the fourth level. equally has nothing on it. Like, wow, meaningful place to be in. So, okay, there is still at least one more game to play. The dream isn't over yet. Good, 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 good. Beautiful, beautiful. I can say then that it was amazing to finish. The only quote unquote complaint is unavoidably what an incredibly basic ending. Like, you barely get to actually realize that it's not. I think my point is there are some other games where you can get the sensation that it is coming, the ending in itself, but here it barely happened like that. It got to end, but not because it was obvious. It simply happened because, yeah, we had to end it rather, or at least it feels like that. Yeah. I don't think the game in itself. Also, wait. There are you can literally see the pixels here. Like this image was resized. This enemy is completely polished. For example, you don't find any pixels on it, but that barrier over there, you can bunch of the pixels if you feel like doing so. But well, the game is over. Wow. But it's not over in a negative sense, so that's great. Wow. But I wasn't really wrong then, we only had like 1 more hour of it. So good to have decided to play it. Also, gamepad is still not working. Isn't that amazing? Who will need to change credits? English? Yeah. Gamepad? No need to change the... Ay. But still, amazing video game. I would only have the doubt of, is there anything else to try to do? Like, we have achievements. Let me check that real quick. Also, wait, stream died at some point? Amazing. No? Supposedly did. Because my frames, my lost frames reset itself, so I guess it did happen, but... Session? No. Supposedly didn't also, so whatever. Let me... Steam. Here. What do we have left? Achievements remaining are... all challenges in the basement spire. And the volcano approach. Ah! Every single level has a name. And that's what you get. Okay. Learn every fighting move, which is just grind the game basically. Jump on enemies, defeat enemies, defeat challenges, slide. Okay, no, okay, there is no secret content. The only, or nothing, no, yeah, there is not even like a secret achievement. The only thing remaining is the compilation, is the stuff. And I'm sort of, well, I mean, unavoidably, if you get literally everything, you will end up getting all the, what is it, customization features, the customs, whatever these things are called, the colors and hats, simply. The shorts. Well, I mean, it's not just shorts, also this thing gets affected, so the HP gets affected, so. But yeah, it was beautiful enough. Surprising though to see that actually, yeah, there is even a second version coming, like a second part to it. And no one said anything. But happy we got to experience it, so yeah. Glad to have done that. Now we can return over here. Yeah, it's so incredibly early actually, so I don't think it will be stupid to say, yeah, therefore we are done. I don't know. I have to actually think about what's next. I should probably first and foremost hire it a little bit, but I don't know if we are going to actually play something else. I don't really feel like doing so. I it was such a treat, that one, that yeah, we are good. In terms of quality, that is probably something of the highest quality that we can get to play in terms of random encounters. At times, like, what is an obviously high quality game? Something like Disco Elysium, for example. You know that you're getting into something incredibly beautiful, incredibly special, incredibly well crafted. Or, for example, if you can prepare the experience itself, something like Fallout New Vegas also has the whole flavor of, yeah, I made sure that I can have all the stops in place so that it doesn't lag, it doesn't crash and such. Like, I think vanilla Fallout New Vegas, for example, is also quite an amazing game, but those are obviously enough amazing. This one, yeah, I don't know. I have to admit that perhaps 50% of it is reliant on what I said before, having known out the existence of this from before, having liked what it was and such. But yeah, it was great anyways. Meanwhile, let me change the category, I guess. Was good, was good, was absolutely good actually. And I'm happy. Also, now that we're really not doing much, I have like I still have a question. What the fuck do we do in cases like this one where I should be trying to, for example, get the do I change the category on YouTube too? Like, unavoidably, I'm not playing the game anymore, but it was the point, right? So, do I really have to change the game? Or the category into setting? I understand Twitch and the necessity to have that exist, but you do? I don't feel like, oh wow, you open it and see this being the case and you feel like completely robbed out of your cash. It's different. But wait, give me a second. Like, just wanted to take out the fancy pants guy out of my head. There we go. And anything else? No, very good. Okay. So that was the game. Amazing. Quite happy, quite happy. Excuse me? Fancy pants? I am pretty sure I saw that thing, like the subtitles, put fancy pants for some reason with like capital letters. I am absolutely sure. The fancy pants. No? What the fuck? Why did that happen? Anyways, whatever. Doesn't really matter, I guess. So, now begins the real challenge. What has been happening lately? I don't know, I haven't, as I said so before, I encountered some other games and I encountered some other things and some other experiences and whatnot, and it's quite enjoyable, I have to admit. It's quite good to be playing stuff, but sometimes I feel like it's quite an easy tool, and it also becomes still. I haven't tried in itself to find it a more cohesive viewport from my own perspective. I don't know. I like the entertainment factor, but at the same time, if I liked the entertainment factor that much, wouldn't it make more sense to just play something myself? Like, no. One of the realities of gameplay channels is, for example, that you get to see somebody do it, no? Okay. Instead of that category, then shouldn't a part of that be that you get to literally how to say it, not have to worry about anything else? Like, you are watching somebody play because of the game, no? So isn't a silent gameplay, long play, for example, walkthrough channel better for that sort of content? I find it quite strange sometimes when the main focus becomes, yeah, we should be playing something, but it's not really for me that we do it. It's, I don't know. I think that the whole layer from the perspective of what FOMO does to the person who streams and whatnot, it's strange. Like, but you don't really care. You don't really mind playing anything. So I don't know. I have quite a handful of what's the expression? Newfound feelings or something like that. Recently encountered, acknowledged sensations and such. And yeah, it's interesting. I think that sadly also it does happen way too much, and I don't know. I'm happy that we get to play things, but also, yeah, part of the essence perhaps is to not exploit that same thing here. It's nice to play something, but it's not nice to literally every single day play something. Uh, but on one hand, I say that, on the other one, I also have to admit, yeah, it's the easiest tool for when I, for example, find myself interested in doing things like this, and we don't really have the possibility of being entirely dedicated to just talking. I don't. Some days you end up tired from existence itself, and you require something to decompress, let's say, to I don't really know. I don't really find it fitting. Like, the whole world of chill out and relax doesn't really happen. Mostly so, even with the mainstream games, you don't really get to relax thanks to those. For sure, you don't get to calm down thanks to, I don't know, playing a little bit of League or a little bit of Deadlock or a little bit of, I don't know, Call of Duty or FIFA or whatever. Nothing of that sort is relaxing in itself. Uh, even something like Candy Crush isn't made with the relaxation of the player in mind. It has a completely absorbent factor, but that's entirely different. Like, I don't know, probably something like heroin is quote unquote absorbent in terms of captivating, no? So it's obviously not about how captivating something is, so how desireful. What's the proper conjugation here? How much of an object of interest you can see it be, because the amount of attention that it can catch from you doesn't really relate in almost any sense to the sensation of calmness that it creates. It's quite a strange equation to lead forward when people say, yeah, you know what? Wait to actually play, wait to actually listen, to see, to whatnot, these other games, these other things, thanks to getting or considering how they work in relation to my mood. Once again, I don't think so, sadly. But it's good anyways, it's good. It's enjoyable enough. I don't know. Besides that, yeah, I guess I am back to the whole grind of trying to find anything. I have actually enjoyed the game last time, so we might check if it might truly be the case that we get to play that one next time. I don't know. I am still wondering a lot, and I can say that I am happy that it didn't really present that many issues, because otherwise it would have been absolutely annoying to see internet fail so much. But it didn't happen, so it was mildly annoying, not only. So, besides that, I don't know, haven't I have been considering quite a lot of things and such, but I don't really think I have many conclusions. Not right now that I can directly bring forward. I guess the most important aspect that has been going on is really the whole degree of having gotten to continue. I think at some point I have mentioned that it's quite necessary when you are trying, for example, in my case, to become a psychologist. No, you have to delve, sorry, in the whole world of therapy, and when it isn't really that available to you for one reason or another, the recommended path forward is at least self-analysis and whatnot, and in that sense, that has been where I have been advancing the most lately, but it doesn't really, I don't know, they, I don't think most people actually share stuff of that sort. I am pretty sure there is this whole degree of I get to understand myself at a deeper level, and even when it does generate something impactful on me, I understand that I should censor what I express outwardly. I I can share things with others, but what I share is of a much lower importance. It doesn't really. If somebody else brings up what I said, at best I might get flustered in terms of, oh wow, how did you know that I said this thing? How you were actually paying attention when I was talking to you? Amazing! I cannot believe it. But I still operate under the realm within the boundaries of, I don't know, the deepest parts of my own psyche, if you wanna say something like that, are only of my possession, and unavoidably the other aspect of and whatever else that also lies in that realm is surprisingly enough within my hands, but because I don't really have much more to do with that, I cannot entirely disregard it, so I have to accept it being here and just doing whatever I can with that. But yeah, anyways, happy all around that it got to work like this. So it's I don't know. I happy because in the end it's always useful. Like it is quite destabilizing for a little bit. Like any kind of mental realization of this kind, I would say the process of getting to understand what one truly is always carries a little bit of a burden in ways of you getting to finally accept and confront parts of the person that we were otherwise completely unaware of. So, with that, will always come a portion of tension and distress and whatnot. But after, it's like this gets presented after the realization happens, as long as the process itself is done properly. So then it just becomes about getting to properly manage this very same kind of negative sensations and moods and unavoidably emotions and such. So it's always for the better. Yeah, let's there might be, I don't know, a handful of instances in which you can say that it doesn't really help for me to get to realize what is inside of me, but I don't think so for most people in terms of proper example. Perhaps if you're actually I don't know, if you dissociate, for example, like main example of when it comes to, oh wow, do you really want to learn everything that you read yourself, what you are yourself? If you had the quote unquote problem of dissociating, and you did so in front of somebody, and in this moment of dissociation, you ended up literally killing that person, you get to finally reconcile this reality with your current conscious personality, might as well be of an incredibly high psychic load in terms of it's incredibly hard to actually get to confront and integrate all of this. But that's once again 99. How much is the actual number? Much lower, I think, even the amount of the population that dissociates like that in terms of in the proper sense of dissociation, not the more basic usage that we give to this word nowadays of yeah, you know what, by me playing something I am dissociating already. No, rather the real dissociative disorder of I become something completely different while I am in this state, and I even get to not actually have most of the possession of my own knowledge while that happens. My memory senses how it behaves and such. So yeah, it's difficult to say that in most people therefore will have any kind of problem. The only problem is to get to properly manage whatever it is that happens with the resulting encounters with the inner contents that are created by trying to be what we get to be and such. So yeah, I don't know. I am overall quite happy and yeah, trying to continue to work on all of that. But I don't know. I don't think the problem also is it's something so abstract. I okay, no, not just abstract. There is a real problem in terms of I don't feel like there is any kind of proper measurement. Like, what can I give you if I tell you, for example, that I feel like I am doing in a scale of 1 to 100, or yeah, in a scale of 1 to 100 in terms of progress, I find myself perhaps feeling in somewhere around 20%. What does that actually mean? Where does the average person actually land? Compared to what is that percentage made? How? Oh, and the biggest, also, particularly in terms of psychology, the issue also of I believe that I am doing 20% today, and let's say a year from now, we come back to this very same conversation, discussion, and something comes forward from all of that, and that is my own stance towards my situation changes with time, and I get to discover sometimes so many other things that I was quite unaware of, and in at instances I get to only realize that I have this particular situation, this particular problem, this particular whatever. I don't really get to have the solution available. So by having that be the case, by having that work in this manner, I need to now confront both the reality of this operating like that and also me needing to solve it in itself. So I still have the problem that needs to get fixed. And when we look back to the progress bar, I said something around 20%. I realize all the things that I had under the shadows of my unconscious or whatever, however you want to define it is. And now that I can acknowledge the existence of those, maybe I wasn't really in a 20%. Maybe I was 15%, then 5%, who knows? So it's also, to some degree, one of the funniest aspects in terms of, yeah, isn't it fantastic that you can't, we don't really know how to communicate all of that. You can, I feel realized in terms of the accomplishments that come forward with all of that, but I don't think the work is even nearly done, so, I don't know, doing minimally good, that's all that I can actually tell you, I guess, yeah. Besides that, now, no, wait a second. I said I was going to actually hire it, and I didn't do it. Sorry. Let me read something. Actually, No, for real. Okay. I don't know. There are so many other things still to look forward to be interested in and such, and it's an interesting world unavoidably, but I don't know. There are many other things to still worry about. It's a wonderful landscape of things and possibilities and such. I I think I know. The conclusion to the entire which basically is I feel like we are incredibly early in all of this. One of the few realizations that I had quite recently was the surprising, absolutely surprising reality of wow, this life, not life, life in general, yeah, but particularly things of this sort are so long, are move in such a at such a turtle space almost that yeah, it's it's amazing. I I think that's a completely new thought actually. You could even say perhaps that something like streaming and whatnot allow for a new are becoming a new are have been transforming since we started to have them now exist with far more consistency throughout the existence of the persons themselves who decided to stream. And it has been amazing to see it become ingrained in the world in these manners in which now we could even say that, yeah, surprisingly enough, actually, there are more than enough encounters with, and you know what? Indeed, all of this is actually an advancement towards, I don't know, uh, becoming not only, I guess, more online, but also the whole aspect of the more evolving kinds of realities and whatnot. My conclusion that I to go towards the idea, the notion of, yeah, incredibly enough, streaming has only been, not only, it also has been stagnating in many other areas, but in the sense of how, in itself as a concept, if we see it nowadays, it has been evolving a lot, and thanks to that, yeah, we can now say that this is very much has changed enough that people like me therefore end up quote unquote affected. I mean, not affected. We end up being influenced as long as we stay present. There is still a lot of uh, decisions here. For example, if tomorrow I say, yeah, you know what, I there is no more streams. Goodbye everyone. I won't ever again in my life go live, and whatnot. That means that makes it be so that literally I don't have to think out all of this anymore, and we don't have to be part of this environment. Uh, Something about the after effects of having existed and whatnot, but fame itself always fades away at some point or another, and yeah, it's not really that influential in the very end, so that much doesn't really matter. What I am trying to say is the concept for those who guess decide to remain are becoming quite interesting to see. Like, it is going to be wonderful to actually continue being a denizen of the internet and seeing the figures who have populated this, the figures that will keep populating this and such, keep growing up and whatnot, and seeing how the whole environment evolves. Like, it's gonna be amazing to see at some point things like somebody having spent perhaps finally 20 years or 30 years streaming. At nowadays, I think, yeah, we have examples of people who have been 10 years or more already, but we still need to reach the 20, the 30, and so on and so forth marks. And those landmarks, those achievements are gonna be interesting. And the more normalized that also becomes, or the more instances of that we can get to identify, the more all of this gets to become also influenced. I feel like, I don't know, they will finally get to have somebody having streamed for 40 years of their life. Let's say, for example, the model of the corporate Vtubers, somebody from Hollow and whatnot, for example, is those who try to have a schedule, who have their events and whatnot. Somebody who worked in such a space for, I perhaps particularly in that sense, since they are in one of those actually legal corporations, perhaps they are literally graduated, forcefully graduated once they reach something like 30 years of streaming, implying that it gets to survive all of that and whatnot. But I don't know. Could be an actual example then? Some indie then, probably something like a Filian or like a Centrea, for example. People of that sort who remain for the love of doing it, not because they are affiliated to anything else. Yeah, okay, then in the indie space, the moment you can finally identify people who have been doing this for 40 plus years, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be absolutely crazy. I mean, we're still in quite a young generation of users in general of these pieces of media, of content and whatnot, and I am pretty sure so far that most of these generations are getting to grow up together with one another, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how the transition is going to be handled once people from, what is it, Zoomers, I think? Yeah, the Zoomers slowly started hitting their 30s, for example, their mid 25s, like, yeah, their mid 20s and such, and 30s and those stages of time. And it's incredibly early to say how everything is going to react and how things are going to behave, but what can be said so far is that, yeah, and many of the things that we used to think were going to caducate, is that, no, uh, expire, yeah, to expire. Many of the things that we expected to expire didn't actually do so, and I don't know. I am pretty sure something like Twitch, I think somebody who has been using not exactly the platform, but who has been accustomed to being around the spaces in which people use it, this platform, let's say like that, I have heard that Twitch was going to die from heavy hitters, not just from the random crazy person who said, oh yeah, it's going to end, but rather from heavy figures who supposedly have any weight in the quote-unquote industry say, oh yeah, this is only going to last maybe 5 or 10 more years. Probably 5 or 10 years ago already at this point. And yeah, it's amazing to see how stuff of this sort therefore keeps subverting everybody's expectation. And yeah, it's interesting to get to see that, but I don't know. We still, I wish we get to keep seeing all of this happen. I feel like I am trying to make my best work, my best efforts in order to also remain pretty much myself and pretty much part of what I want to be and what I want to hope for, but I don't know. I am very observant of my surroundings for the sake of not judging something that will actually be harmful. And I am starting to feel like unavoidably there is at least an amount of impending doom existing. I didn't want to always yeah, I didn't always want to think out the world as something that seems quite obscure, dark, and negative, and whatnot. There is something beautiful in getting to properly remain hopeful for things and remain, yeah, cheerful. Even if you say naive, not that bad actually, and let that exist and such. And I think that slowly there are enough things being on the same side of what I said before of we are in an era in which you can observe many aspects of reality still be present in one way or another, many aspects of this world be existent in these ways and whatnot with these different manifestations and these different ways of being and such. And all of that from the positive of like, I don't know, YouTube still remains, Twitch remains, something like Twitter remains. I don't think that Twitter is that great, but it remains. Facebook remains. Instagram, all of those platforms. There are also on the opposite side, I know, wars still are happening in the world. You would have expected that somehow we will have finally gotten we will have finally acquired the capacity to not have all of that be an issue, you know? But unsurprisingly at this point, no, actually it might as well be considered a part of the human nature somehow. Doesn't really seem like we are going to get rid of that. And it's quite depressing to some degree, and yeah, we are also, I don't know, there are, I don't think every single thing is absolutely negative. Like, one of the few things that I heard that was quite positive once you actually understand what is being said. Like, I heard the news being presented from the fear-mongering perspective, while in reality I think it's actually amazing, no? Like, it had something to do with the whole land view perspective, rather, of how things like the quote-unquote dating apps ended up slowly killing themselves enough so that nowadays all the major ones are slowly trying to transition into more quote-unquote proper methods. Like, the main example was things like Tinder slowly now trying to remove the whole swipe to the right, the left, and up, and whatever the fuck it is, um, for a more, I guess, profile oriented, like actually trying to make it work instead of just trying to make it profitable, so to speak, you know? And it's interesting to see all of that be the case because, yeah, there are markets that are also changing. Like, once again, there are things that are quite remain in the gray area of these things are really interesting. I don't think they are all that bad. Like, for example, I don't really think that AI itself dying is all that bad. I am quite happy that many places finally get to realize that it was meaningless to utilize so much energy and resources into that. It brings back the balance. Ah, yeah, but people lose their jobs and there are so many machines being destroyed and whatnot. To some degree, it doesn't matter. We can also be happy that this finally gets to disappear a little bit more. We get to not have such threatening declarations from every figure with authority in the field in terms of, yeah, AI is going to be enforced and everybody is going to have to sit through that and whatnot. We're slowly getting to move from that thanks to AI dying. It's not really so bad, like, oh wow, data centers slowly get more regulated and whatnot, and now people are doom is coming. The private companies are going to declare war on the public. No, not really. So that's why it's it's quite interesting to see stuff. But I don't know, the future holds so many uncertainties that the the prospect of what I was trying to say then perhaps could be uh, presented from this perspective. It's interesting to try to pay attention to what's going to happen. It's such a mystery, and I don't know, as always, um, trying to influence things and trying to be an active participant in what you care about and what you want to make sure that happens and what you are interested in seeing change, even if the current aspects in relation to all of that don't seem to be moving in that very same direction, is important, is necessary, is influential, is beautiful, is literally what gets to keep ourselves afloat most of the time. Yeah, okay, true. But at the same time, there is also this perspective of, and I don't know, it's crazy to see how much. As I tend to say it, and this is the biggest reason as to why it's amazing to see how underdeveloped we are as a humanity. So many things still need to get resolved, need to find points where they get no more events happening. Like, I don't know, I would be happy if we finally got to understand stuff like medicine to the degree to which we can say, okay, we can perhaps cure all of these diseases without any problem whatsoever. And do so with every single one of them, not just with a handful of them. Yeah, we can cure all of these, but every other one, 50-50. You either survive or you don't. But I don't know. It's an interesting world, anyways, and it's just quite a difficult task to contemplate all of it. But I don't think that even if it is, that means something bad in any ways. It's good to know that it exists, and it's good to try to be present in all of it. After all, it's so open and so full of things that why not try to enjoy that at the very least? That gets to bring some positivity forward. The whole reality of there are so many things to try to pay attention to that, okay, if I can try to choose, why not choose at least something that actually matters to me, and something that matters to me, which I could also have some portion of a saying on, like, I know, people dying of hunger matters to me as it should matter to every other human being, but can I actually solve world hunger? Perhaps not. So, if I decide to worry about that, I might drown in the anxiety that such problems of humanity bring forward. Yeah, true. So, what can I actually look towards? A lot of these things are interesting, but I don't know. That's the general concept of growing up, and that's just something that is bound to happen to people as we slowly get to mature into being these adults of sorts and whatnot. It's bound to be the case. You finally get to define what you actually want to have in your own mind, so to speak. So yeah, happy about that, but still quite perplexed that it is still the case that all of that works in this way and not, I don't know, as always. Surprising to see how much this much freedom is still not seen as something so full of chances of harming the person, but rather something utterly beneficial for us. Like, I don't know. Same thing, for example, as what has to do with the whole aspect of. But are we truly, for example, no? Are we truly really free in any way? Like, don't we actually have so many layers also of, I am mildly free, but I at the same time know that there are many other decisions which I cannot really take. Like, the best example always is we are free to choose to work or not to work. Yeah. But the reality is, if you don't really work in any way whatsoever, you're going to die of starvation. So it's not really that much of a choice. You can kill yourself, but the average person doesn't really think about doing so. So it's not. It's a false possibility. You can only find a way to generate the same things that work might do, but it doesn't mean that it isn't work. It just becomes this new classification or this different classification of unorthodox work. Wow. So, who knows? I don't know. The world is amazing. That's all that I wanted to say. And my point is that, yeah, many things are still worth looking forward to. And the general landscape of situations and such is fully captivating. I feel like, yeah, we're in quite an interesting era. The only desire is that, I don't know, we get to not blow up the few chances that we have, but at the same time, also, sadly, it doesn't really have that much to deal with us. Like, there is not that much of a choice in our hands. There are quite a lot of things that have to deal with that. Yeah, I realized, sadly, I want to make sure that things get to happen, that the world gets to move in the right direction, whatnot, and similar. But if it doesn't, like, for example, basic, I don't really have that much of a saying in something like a third world war, you know, so if it happens, and sadly, we will just have to find a way to survive all of that. We will just have to worry on getting to encounter a method to go through all of it ourselves, and getting a method, or yeah, discovering something that lets us finally then go through this new hiccup in the history of humanity. But otherwise, I don't know, the world is interesting, and sometimes it's nice, at other times it also has it has a lot to do with I want things, but I also want to be capable of wanting things, you know? I don't want to want something, but being completely impeded of actually doing anything in regards to that, because life entirely forces me to focus on these other unavoidable problems. Like, one thing is to have to worry about the situations which have to deal with my own existence, which I don't avoid at all, but a completely different one is to have to be then lost in the sea of, oh wow, did you know we are all now going through, for example, the most recent one is still the pandemic and whatnot, you know, stuff of that sort that happens to influence us, not because we want to, but because we have to care about them. So yeah, I don't know. The world as a general prospect is interesting, but it's quite a dangerous place. And surprisingly so, we don't really say that enough times. Or we do so, but only in the most negative sense of, oh no, wow, did you know how much of a danger it is out there to go to these places, to visit these I don't know, these straits, to be near these groups or whatever, but without the real sense of, I don't know, there are other kinds of dangers, there are other kinds of more present, more universal situations in that sense, and those ones that actually affect every single one of us, that also go completely unmentioned, are quite worrisome in themselves, because they do deserve to actually at all have any degree of recognition. Why are we so willing to not say anything? Why are we so willing to not acknowledge them? Like, I don't know. life, I guess. I should instead worry about the problems that I can discuss with others where I see that others are also willing to talk about them, rather than to lose my time worrying out this thing that even if it affected every single human being, no one would truly be willing to actually talk about anything of that sort. Because in the end, who would actually, like for example, no, as always, who will want to talk about world hunger when currently there is not really that much to say in regards to that? We have tiny efforts, we have tiny minuscule particles of motion being generated and being put into action for the sake of trying to at least not let that overwhelm the entirety of humanity, but the problem itself isn't really being talked about, so who are you going to actually try to talk that with? It's a cause that currently has no proper way to be approached directly. Rather, you can only do so from the peripherals of it, and you can only do so from the very boundaries of the problem, not from the problem itself, but only from the reality that the problem might exist, that the problem might deserve to be paid attention, but also that once again that also comes with the whole perspective of, and after having done so much work to make your voice have any weight and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting piece of land where we are sitting in this earth of ours. So yeah, happy enough, but also vexed by most of it, I have to say. And I don't know. Besides that, trying to also to some degree stick to what the title of this stream says, aka video also. I have yet to properly integrate into myself that yeah, this also works as a video. In the end, unavoidably, the bots still remain on YouTube, so. And I don't know, I feel like sadly there is also quite a lot of things that have to do with the perspective of, yeah, getting to wonder about what is going to come next and what the whole aspect of the future, basically, and such, and the projects that have to deal with all of that. But it's. I have still to solve many conversations in that sense, or discussions, I guess, most correctly. It's surprising to see how much you get to live without ever thinking about certain situations that occupy your existence almost for the entirety of its duration. So, yeah, getting to sort out those answers also, so that I can therefore act myself with some degree of enjoyment, of actual pleasure, in terms of, yeah, I know that what I am doing comes, if nothing else, the whole school of thought of, no, the only thing that we do is impose rationalizations. We are, even when we can explain with the exact words why we believe that we do things, the actions are still taken on a much previous stage of consciousness and such. Okay, true. Even if that is the case, I prefer to have that exist than to live without any awareness whatsoever, like, even if I am lying to myself or whatever you wanna say like that, I prefer to do so than to still live aimlessly. Isn't that the goal anyways? Whatever lets you be what you want to be, after all. And in this case, whatever lets those decisions that get taken before I get to ever say anything, let them be taken with much more directness, rather than being lost in the whole process of the milliseconds that need to transpire before any decision actually gets to be such. But I don't know. there is still a lot more to go through. So that's also why I say this is quite an interesting journey. I feel like it is amazing, and it is going to be amazing to see how all of this goes. And I don't know, trying to hope also for the future and make sure that not only is there a hope, but also the action that accompanies that very same hope, the validating kind of action, the one that lets the action itself be then more solidified into existence, let's say, rather than assuming that it only matters if we get to, in one way or another, see how we can hope and nothing else. The whole perspective of I can lose my entire life wanting things without any other aspect to it. And sometimes it's actually good to not want so much, but rather focus on at the least the desire that you can actually fulfill, rather than to have the plethora of them which remains unattended and such. So yeah, same. I mean, if you want to bring more connectivity to what I am saying, for same reason as to why, for example, I don't really like to play that much, and think it matters, it makes any kind of sense in any way to be every single day playing something here. It's not really that substantial, therefore. It is a much more ethereal kind of satisfaction, that one. So it's good to get to actually admit to oneself what are those more elevated ones and attend to them. But yeah, it also it also comes with the price of getting to recognize that they actually exist, and at least in the sense of present and future, and also knowing that you need to make sure that they remain there. Like, the worst temptation is incredibly unspecific enough nowadays to not really constitute that much of a valid idea now in the creations of yeah, you need to be aware that while you have your own desires, you will be tempted. But that has always been the case, and that will always be the case. What matters is that you can actually possess your desires with enough properness in terms of I am actually willing to have them be, and I am actually willing to have them work for me and work for the things that I want to make sure happens and whatnot, and all of that is quite not only quite difficult to know but also quite exhausting. So tomorrow I shall also wake up and say, yeah, all of this not only does it make sense, but also it's substantial enough so that I can actually confirm that we are going to remain on this very same path. But I don't know, existence is always a challenge, so surmounting all of it is entertaining. And yeah, we are going to see. Besides that, I don't know. I should probably drink some water because I think the biggest reason is the incredibly cold environment. I am starting to slowly feel quite rough in my throat, but I finally paid some attention, and actually it's beautiful to see how much of a difference it makes when you do stop coughing every single time. Like, I remember when I used to do, like, one of the few reasons, for example, why we had such short streams was because when I came here and such, before it used to happen, that if we ever got to say anything, and no, yeah, if I ever spent this much streaming, I will start to feel maybe around the hour. That's with the sensation in my throat, and I will say, and because of that, I will slowly start coughing more and more and more until I felt absolutely exhausted, and even with that a little bit of metallic taste in my mouth and all of that. So yeah, getting to do things also more properly is amazing. The possibilities are boundless, but I don't know. It's one piece of it. There are still many others to attend, and it's nice to do so, but it is still quite a long road ahead of us. There are many changes still to implement, and I don't know, the future is also incredibly distant sometimes. Like, I am amazed by our capacity to project onto the future decades ahead. So yeah, it's gonna be certainly something, but who knows? For now, I don't know. Happy, but as I said, trying to also keep that other aspect alive, that other window of opportunity. Who knows exactly what also existent. At times, it's quite difficult. It's, as I was saying, to keep a desire living within one instead of killing it slowly with inaction is challenging enough. More, or not enough, actually. I would even go as far as to say far more challenging than what we are capable of mentioning. There is something beautiful about the human nature and how much things that are actually incredibly important for the correct human development that, yeah, gets to be present in the majority, then get taken as completely normal without any kind of praise whatsoever. Like, I don't know, I don't think that the average person, I don't even think that I myself, for example, get to be aware enough of how much of a beauty it is to be conscious itself, to be capable of having these kind of thoughts, to be capable of having any kind of conversation with this much depth and whatnot. It's nice to have all of that, and it's beautiful to get to express these things, but we don't really sit down and admire how things get to be thanks to that, how the world gets to become better thanks to this very same quality, how the reality which we inhabit gets to also be affected by this. We only know that it is great on a very surface level. We know that it should be something that we should be appreciating, so we can all agree that, oh wow, what a great thing to actually have this. But who the fuck cares really if it is actually present or not? And in that very same sense, it is stuff like also how we get to keep dreams alive, hopes, desires, and such existence within us that we should be capable of admiring much more of that. It is such an interesting process, but we don't really do so, so surface level remains of, yeah, well, great enough that we can have that, sure, yeah, but the more proper admiration for it, the more proper realization of how much of a great thing every single human gets to have, like, what, I think I explained that, this whole notion of it's bad to talk about something great that I personally have, not because I shouldn't boast to others, not for that exactly, but rather because if I do note something of importance existent within me, and I say anything about that, and others also have it, and this taken to the extreme, every single other person might as well have that, Is it really something that great? Is it really something that substantial, that important? Aren't I perhaps wasting my time in saying that this matters? Wasn't I wrong when I made the proposition that this thing deserves to be thought about? So yeah, thanks to these mechanisms of shame, it is that we end up with beliefs of this sort of, you know what? It's the norm that everybody should be capable of sustaining dreams and hopes and such. But if it doesn't happen, oh, what a sadness. Do you really even understand why is it so important? Why is it so great? Besides the anecdotal examples, for example, which gets to be far more understandable, like, yeah, here you have a person who has them, or here I can give you the names of somebody who I got to see, to know, to meet, which did possess them on one hand, and in the other, you have these people which don't really have it. No, the real substantial realization, proper notion of, wow, I actually do understand why this matters and how it operates within me, within everyone else, also, I guess. So, yeah. Also, we are slowly starting to lag. What the fuck is going on? It's 2 in the morning, brother. Why are we lagging? Yeah. Isn't it? Such a magical world, I guess. Such a beautiful reality. But anyways, besides that, I don't know. I think at some point last year, I am pretty sure I did one karaoke. I think we are slowly approaching that very same time frame. Now, yes, quote unquote, soon, we're going to have a karaoke. Like, in this new completely warped time frame, time reference of mine, like, who knows, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks even, who knows when, but yeah. I am starting to organize myself in order to make sure that that happens. Trying to fit the mental scheme of how to bring that forward and such. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we keep lying. What the fuck is going on, brother? Why at 2 in the morning? What's up? What's up with the internet, man? What a funny thing. But yeah, I don't know. Silence. Now, we silence. Sorry, a minute of silence. No, I think probably. Yeah, I don't really feel like I have much more to add. And also, before I actually get upset when it actually gets off and dies and something like that, it would be the best if we got it away now instead of later. So yeah, perhaps we are good. Perhaps we have done our work today. So yeah, as always. It was very nice. Thanks for everything, for the time, the patience, the interest, the attention, everything. Remember to take care, to hydrate, to rest, to be responsible, to hope for things, to work for things, to do all of those parts of life, to be, instead of thinking about a being. And yeah, as always, whenever we can, we are coming back here. I don't know if tomorrow, perhaps, but I think it's 50-50, as always. If you want to know, maybe you should join the Discord. But yeah, even if we don't get to meet tomorrow, even if we don't get to ever meet again, you still have to do your part, and I am still absolutely thankful for everything that transpired today in this beautiful place of ours. So yeah, as always, remember to take care. Remember to do your portion of existence still. And yeah, uh, we will see. We will be seeing ourselves next time. And if not, still thank you. Now, all that matters is to say bye bye.